Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. I'm so excited to start this week once again on a high note with all of you so we can continue to grow, continue to build, and continue to create our dream lives together. And that's what I want to talk to you today more of because a lot of times, see, there are dreams we want to master, there are dreams we want to achieve, there are goals that are there that ignite the best in us. And yet, for a lot of us, they seem elusive. They seem so far away that sometimes a sense of doubt comes in. And that doubt starts to say, I don't know if I can make this happen. I don't know if it will ever work out. I don't know. I'm just thinking this big. Is it even going to happen? Before we know it, the tiny doubt turns into a big spiral of anxiety. And that big spiral then takes over our energy, our thoughts, and essentially, rather than being something that inspires us, dreams become something that scare us. I want to help you break out of that cycle because I've seen so many people who get stuck in this that they stop dreaming big only. They stop expecting more for themselves. They stop expecting that life can be better than what it is. And I don't want you to be that because I want you to know you are a creator. You are somebody who deserves to succeed. You are somebody who deserves every single dream that you have envisioned. Because I'm a firm believer of something, okay? I want to share this with you today as an insight. If it wasn't a possibility, the universe would not have put that dream in your eyes. If that was not a possibility, the universe would not have made you think of this idea, of this project, of this vision that you want to bring to life. So don't for a second doubt whether you deserve it or not. Because if it's in your mind and if it's a vision that you see, then yes, you deserve it. It's as simple as that. If it wasn't the case, you would not have seen the vision. You would not have seen the dream. So, first of all, I want to get this doubt out the window, okay? Because there is nothing to doubt over here. There's nothing to worry about. If you are somebody who's dreaming to build $1 million company and you're thinking, how, why, when, I don't really know, stop asking those questions. How to create that, I'm going to talk about it. But the first layer of that creation is to accept and acknowledge and own the dream like it belongs to you. Own it with power, own it with strength, own it like you mean it. Because that's when you're able to give it the energy that truly helps you succeed. And by the way, that right there is step one for creating your dream life. When you own the dream, you create the possibility of it coming true. I'll repeat that again. When you own the dream, you create the possibility of the dream coming true. And yet, most of us will be ashamed of our dreams. Most of us will hold back. We won't really go all out. Well, if you don't own it, it can't come true. So that's step one. If it's in your mind, own it because you really do own it. You really deserve every single bit of it. Okay. That's step one. Now, once that acceptance is there, you're thinking, yeah, that's cool. Okay, fine. I accept this is my dream. But what do I do? How do I move forward towards creating my dream life? Well, now here are the steps for that. Here's the practical way to make it happen. I share this with all my coaches as well, and I want to share this with you today so you can take this insight forward. I want you to notice very carefully the word that I've used here. I haven't said how to attract your dream life. I haven't said how to manifest your dream life. I haven't said how to just get whatever you want. No. If you look at the question we're talking about today, the question is how to create your dream life. And now, when we think from that lens, right, when we think from the lens of creation, we understand something very important. And it's this: creation is not a passive process. Creation is an active process. And when you make it an active process, the best thing that happens is you become the one who's in control of the outcomes. You become the one who decides how and when and where and in what ways things happen. But for that, you need to be comfortable with the idea of putting in the efforts, and you need to be comfortable with being the creator rather than just the person who wishes for the dream life. And that's where I want to share with you one of the most powerful, most amazing quotes that I've ever read in my life. I believe this one line has the potential and the power to completely transform the way you look at creating your dream life from now on. And this is a line that comes from James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. And I want to make sure I get this right word for word. So I'm going to read it from my screen and I look down for just a moment, but listen to the words. They are very important, okay? This is the main insight from today's session that can completely change the way you understand creating your dream life. So here we go. I'm going to read this quote out for you. And the quote goes like this: it doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. It doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. If you don't want to live the lifestyle, then release yourself from the desire. To crave the result but not the process is to guarantee disappointment. I'm going to repeat the whole thing again so you really get it, okay? It doesn't make sense to continue wanting something if you're not willing to do what it takes to get it. If you don't want to live the lifestyle, then release yourself from the desire. To crave the result but not the process is to guarantee disappointment. I wish someone had told me this a long, long time ago when I was thinking of big dreams, but I wasn't doing anything to take action on them. Like, for example, one of my biggest dreams when I was like 10 years old or 11 years old was to study finance and do this and do that and get into an Ivy League. And all those questions and all those thoughts that every academically gifted kid thinks about. Now I know I would have been miserable in that life. I would not have loved it at all. What I do over here every day, transforming lives, creating impact, I'd much rather do this. So, what have I done? I've released myself from that desire. Has that disappointed my 10-year-old self a bit? Maybe. I don't know. But am I okay with accepting the fact that I don't need that thing anymore in my life? Yes, I am. Why? Because I'm not willing to put in the work it takes to get into an Ivy League to study finance. I'm just not. And if I'm okay with that, I'm okay with the fact that it will never become a reality in my life because I'm consciously choosing the dream life that I want to create. The problem, the reason, the main culprit behind all your struggle in creating your dream life is this trap between wanting the result but not the process. Look, you can't have the result without the process, no matter how hard you try. In fact, it is much easier to accept that the process is going to be a part of getting the result rather than just trying to find a way where it's not. Because, as James Clear said, to continue wanting the result but not the process is the surefire way of guaranteeing disappointment. If you want to live a dissatisfied life, right, this is the perfect formula. Dream things you don't want to put the effort and the work of creating. And the more you do this, the more your current reality feels far away from the dreams, the more frustrated you get, and the more challenging life in itself gets. This is a crucial insight. This is what helps you grow. This is what helps you unlock the next level of your life. And look, I can give you any kind of good and nice and sugar coated stuff over here because we're talking about creating our dream lives, right? I could tell you right now to go make a vision board, and all of that's important. I make mine too. I love having things that I want to manifest on my board, but that comes with this fundamental understanding. I'm only going to put it up if I'm willing to put the work in for it, if I'm willing to follow the process that it takes to get over there. And that's the reason I'm able to do these sessions. I'm able to help my coaches. I'm able to create so much magic wherever I go, in whatever I do, because those are conscious decisions. It's not by fluke, it's not by accident. I consciously decide which dreams to invest my energy towards. And when I make that decision, oh, then I'm all out, then nothing stops me. Nothing gets in the way. And that's the reason I'm able to create a life that I'm proud of at the age of 19. Now, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this to tell you how great I am or in an arrogant way. No, I'm saying this to share an example with you that in whatever you do, it is important and it is crucial to know To create the life of your dreams comes with the effort, comes with the price, it comes with the cost. Now, the choice of all of that is up to you. Do you want to pay the cost or do you want to keep running away from it? Do you want to accept the fact that your dreams are going to take work? Or do you just want a beautiful fairy tale kind of land where everything's happening and you don't have to do anything? And unfortunately, that's not the reality. I know this is probably not what you expected to start off the week with, but hey, this is the truth. I don't want you to be disappointed in life. I don't want you to be hurt. That's why I'm sharing this with you. So even if I'm the reason for your hurt tonight, I'm okay with that. Honestly, I love that. I'm more than okay with you feeling that feeling because if it gets you to the truth, if it gets you to core realizations, I'm happy to deliver that to you. So, to create the life of your dreams, own the dreams. And once you own the dreams, be willing to work for the dreams. Because remember, to want the result but not the process is to guarantee disappointment. And you don't want disappointment, you don't want failure, you want success. And if you want success, you better be the one who creates it. That's my message for today. That's the lesson I want you to go off with. And remember, you are the creator. So you choose, it's an active and it's a conscious process. Decide tonight what's the dream? And are you willing to own the dream and work towards the dream? If you have these two factors in line, you're unstoppable. Nothing, and I mean nothing and no force on this planet can then stop you from getting to the dream. Will those forces try? Oh, of course they will. But that's where your resistance and your persistence and your resilience will come in to help you grow and to make the dream possible. But the fundamentals are what I've talked about today: owning the dream like it's yours, not being ashamed of it. And then after you've owned it, be willing to work towards it because you are the creator. You're not just a consumer, you're not just a passive experiencer of life. You are the creator. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time. That is 8:30 p.m. IST. Bye. Talk to you soon.